The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamboree to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Welcome in, new season. New voice person. Same old host, Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. We got Cassie Spazzali on video, and we've got Ryan Kennedy producing audio tonight. Skip Contreras is helping out as well. Thanks to everyone tuning in to the, I don't know what number season it is, the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard
14.
Presented by Lake Urgent Care. Is it number 14?
14.
Awesome. Been a while. Jimmy, you have a son that used to go to LSU, don't you?
Todd was talking about that on the way over here. Hey,
Oh, man.
yeah, about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Todd Black's got one now.
So it's a very interesting time of the season, Jamboree week. We will have a full week next week with Louisiana Prep Weekly on Wednesday, Louisiana Prep Preview next Friday night at 6 o'clock, and then Catholic High at Destrehan, followed by the Week 1 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care, going until midnight next week. But first, we go through the Jamborees. They got started on Thursday night, and that's where Coach Todd Black was, with the idea that I know a lot of people look at different ways. There's different things you want to get out. Every coach is different, what they want to take out of their Jamboree. From a standpoint of what we saw tonight, I think there's a collection of teams that want to do some self-improvement, because there was a lot of yellow flags on the field tonight. Partially, maybe not their fault, but some of them, you got to get, this is the week you want to do that. This is the week you want to have these screw-ups so that next week you hopefully iron them out a little bit.
Well, it was teams needed to clean some things up.
Yeah.
Some refs needed to clean some things up.
I think everybody's in that mode. Yeah.
We'll probably need to clean some things up after the
No
night.
doubt.
But that's what the Jamborees are for, just get out of it what you want to get out of it.
I'm already worried about you because I think you're going to dehydrate through this show because you forgot your hydration
I forgot my
cup.
cup, yeah. We'll be all right.
You need me to sneak out of here and go get you a Tiki Man?
I might. That'd be good. Go buy a Coconut Willis. But, yeah, I just think everybody needs to worry about themselves, not the score, and just get out of it what you want. Now, did you do that or not? You'll find that out tonight. And when you start going back tonight and in the morning looking at the films, there'll be a lot of things to clean up. There'll be a lot of things they find out that they did really well. And that's just the way it is. And week 1 starts next week, and they got some really good games next week. But
I'll tell you,
tonight was fun.
You mentioned film, and we've always found out through the years, film is not as bad as you think it is if you are on the short end of the scoreboard, and it's never as good as you think it is if you're on the positive end of the scoreboard. And film don't lie, and it's one of the greatest things. They got all kind of angles. The drone, they've got tight angles, they've got wide angles. You can look at it on the sideline. They even cut it. It's now they got a huddle live. That means people can view it live, but it also is being cut as the game is progressing. That was something new for us last night. But Huddle's doing a great job in keeping up and keeping the things. Hey, if you don't have it, you're behind, because there's sidelines everywhere that are looking at them. But it's fun. Film is fun to watch.
And they've made, that technology improvements in advancements. You're able to take advantage of that kind of stuff and get your team the more information that they need. And looking around the state throughout the last 48 hours, I know that some of the weather has played challenges, but all in all, I think seeing some of the stands pretty packed tonight, it's exciting to see that that atmosphere is kind of back in full swing for a lot of these teams, especially when you consider there's a lot of new coaches here in the area. There's a new school in the area. So getting back into the swing of things, a thought hit me when I was leaving the game tonight. For a lot of these schools, you get like 4 or 5 nights at your football stadium a season, right? I mean, like it's limited. And so if you're a student, and maybe you get extra in the postseason. What are you guaranteed? But you got to take advantage of these nights as far as a parent, a student. It doesn't come around that often. We wait all year. We get excited for football season, and then in the blink of an eye, it's wrapped up.
It's over.
And
you better enjoy
yes.
it. And I can tell you, going through it with my kids, it was over before you knew it.
Uh-huh.
You don't appreciate it until after it's over, and then you sit back and think, wow, that was quick.
Mm-hmm.
And Todd's fixing to go through it with his right now.
Yep, 2 of them are gone. Last one, he's 9th grade, and I'm coaching him, and he's lucky he got a ride home last night. But
He still got a short haircut?
Look, he still got a short haircut. And we've always talked about this, and I was telling another coach with me, Dusty Bro, I said, I try to battle. I don't want him not to come around me at the house because I'm just going to complain about something he did in the game. So it's a tough battle. As Jimmy knows, as you try to sit there and you try to balance the dad and the coach, and you want him to get better, but you don't want him to walk in the room and say, hey, let me show you this. Come here. Because I did that last night. And but I don't want him not to come downstairs because he's like, screw that. I'm not going down there and listen to him.
It's hard. You got to, and we've talked with people throughout the years. Neil, when he was coaching his kid, I can remember, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to separate that. You want to leave the football stuff at the football field and in the coach's office, and then when you go home and get in that vehicle, you want to leave it alone and be a dad again. And it's hard. It's hard to do, I can tell you.
And here's what Jimmy would agree with. If you had more than one son, you can do something different with each one of them. Like with Jackson, I could probably talk until the cows come. It wouldn't faze him a bit. Brock's a little bit different. Charles a little bit different. But our kids can come from, the same background, but each be totally different in how you can handle them. The type of athlete they are as well.
And he grew up on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, taking naps right outside the studio, gaining that information, and now look at him on the JV sideline. So
you'll have to come watch him play.
I'll definitely look forward to that. I guess this is certainly a non-traditional show for us, kind of a dry run, a dress rehearsal. We're going to get all of our bugs out too, but we want to get you some scores from tonight. And I know Coach has written down a good bit of them. As you have a final from an area, you want to report something, you can give us a call at 225-499-1045. Ryan will be glad to answer the phone for you. 225-499-1045. A little non-traditional night, so if you want to report a score, a final score from your Jamboree that you didn't hear, we'll get it over the air tonight, 499-1045. But we got a couple of them we can rattle off for you.
So we'll start here locally. Some games last night. Episcopal over Pearl River, 28-21. Ascension Catholic over St. Michael, 27-0. Tonight, Catholic High Point Capee, 13-12 over St. Ed's. U High, 21. Dunham, 18. St. Charles Catholic, 17. East St. John, 6. Denham, 7. Walker, 6. Zachary, 28. Westfeld, 12. Central 10, East Ascension nothing. Dutchtown 34, Prairieville nothing. Let's see, moving. Any more from this area? Catholic 23-0 over Madison Prep. St. John 42-0 over Acadiana Renaissance. And those are some that are just in the area. Jimmy might have a few more.
Just got a text from Jackie Mullins from Slaughter Charter. They're 31-0 winner over CP. I'm assuming that's Central Private.
Did Denham Springs get started late tonight?
It was fairly late because they probably played in ninth grade.
Okay, yeah.
But they did win 7-6. It was probably ninth grade JV and then the varsity.
Gotcha. I knew you were getting your regular text from your regular text people. I thought that guy was getting to you. You can tweet your scores on X.
Skip's got a couple more.
Hit Skip's mic up there real quick.
I got a University 21, Dunham 18. I have Parkview 24, Bruley 0. And then I have a few North Louisiana. Ouachita 6, Natchitoches Central 0. Oak Grove 41, Richwood 18. Ouachita Christian shuts out Cedar Creek 37-0.
And there you go. Some Jamboree scores from Thursday and Friday night. As we look ahead to the 2024 season, we'll try to preview a couple of teams in each classification tonight. The game we had a chance to see tonight, I caught the second half of Dunham and U High. Boy, I tell you what, if U High sticks to the game plan with the guys they got up front, who are big, It could be something. And certainly watching Catholic High going through a transition at quarterback, it'll be interesting to see what they do. They start their season pretty strong next week on the road against Destrehan.
That says a lot to me, just talking about guys up front, but Dunham played with them pretty well, 21-18.
Dunham played very well. They were down 14-0. U-High had hit. Dunham had controlled the line of scrimmage, believe it or not, early in the game and put them in some down and distances where they converted a 2nd and 22. U-High did. But they hit about a 44-yard pass play to Lawson.
Lawson.
Lawson Dixon. Lawson Dixon. Daddy's going to kick my butt for forgetting that.
Oh, you're talking Caleb?
Caleb's
Yeah,
son.
okay,
hit a big
good,
play down to about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, they're firemen together, just to let you know how close they are.
Yeah.
Way to go.
And then they hit they drove it 98 yards, but they had a 40-something yard run, and now they went up 14-0. But here comes Elijah Haven and Dunham. They come back, make it 14-12, end up taking a lead. And then U-High just finally decided that, hey, we're going to line up and we're going to shove it down your throat, and that's what they did. And I'll be honest with you, that's who U-High is. Their strength is their offensive line, where in the past they were kind of weak, but they were younger.
Who's the running back? Zay Martin?
No, Zay Martin was the receiver.
Okay.
Yeah. But they just lined up that last drive when they needed it and just got 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 yards of pop, and that needs to be the focus of them. Now, like you say, we said a little bit earlier, what was their game plan and what were they trying to accomplish tonight? We don't know that. So, but if I'm looking at them tonight, they're a run-first team. Even though the quarterback's good, I think they are a run-first type team, and you couldn't go to a Jamboree or a game probably anywhere in the country and see two better quarterbacks on the same field at the same time as Elijah Haven and Emil.
I think what stands out with Elijah, obviously that he's super talented, but I think back there, he's not I think he's got a great pass, but he's not afraid to take a hit if he's going to take a hit. He's going to stand back there. If he's going to run, he's going to run. If he's going to pass, I think he understands that. Look, this is a contact sport. I got to do what I got to do, and there's a little bit of comfortable understanding that I got to do what I got to do.
Well,
he took some shots tonight from Keelan Moses, 3 or 4 of them where he's exposed, arm up, throwing the football, and he took shots in the ribs, probably 2 or 3 times at least, and he didn't flinch. Keelan helped him up. You could tell right there that those two had a lot of respect.
Yes.
There wasn't one word said between the two. It
wasn't standing over him or anything.
Wasn't standing over, wasn't taunting. You could tell they had respect for each other. At the same time,
that's because Elijah's probably dunked on him at some point.
then the long pass that Emil Picarella had in the first series that went for 44 yards was on a 3rd and 10 or so, something like that. And he took one heck of a shot right in the ribs. I'm like, and they were all clean.
Yeah,
but they both got up. So, but I thought one of the things that Elijah had tonight that I noticed, him communicating more with the coaches. Instead of standing there and them telling him everything, he was able to feed information back to the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And you see things different as a quarterback on the field that even the coaches don't see from the field or the press box. He may have something that he's seeing out there that, hey, this will work, coach, and you got to trust that kid to be able to tell you that and then run it and trust him. And I saw some of that tonight. That's just the growth of him going from a freshman playing however many games it was last year to a sophomore.
No, he's elite, and he's different than a lot of quarterbacks. But Coach Black, as a quarterback, what are some of the biggest improvements you can make or you see quarterbacks make from year 1 as a starter to year 2? What starts to click more than maybe other aspects of your game?
I think what Jimmy's talking about is that his confidence, we'll talk about Elijah specifically, is, the one thing is you see defenses, but you don't have the confidence, I think, as a quarterback when you go out there. It's a universal cover 2 or cover 4 or cover 3. But your film study is pretty much dictated when you get on a Friday night to how well, you see what's going on. And I think to answer your question, it's to be able to understand what the defense is doing. We had Bill Belichick speak to us when I worked with the Manning camp, and he talked about one of the things that separated Brady and Peyton was they knew defenses better than they knew their own offense, and that's why they were elite. And I think in a much smaller situation, this is the same case in high school. I think the guys that get confident in seeing what they're, understanding what they're seeing, they can look back and say, Coach, this is what they're doing. This is, because I ask, are they playing what we thought they would play? And that's the communication that you have to have with a quarterback, because you want them to be an extension of you on the field.
Nothing's going to surprise you. If it's rare, something's going to surprise you. You're prepared for that.
And Dwayne Jenkins from Lutcher High School was very big on when you reach that. He had a run of quarterbacks that were phenomenal at Lutcher when he was offensive coordinator. And he said when you get to around that 20-game mark, it changes for you. And I think one of the biggest things, talking about Elijah, the more you play, the game slows down. You're able to identify blitzes. You're able to identify when they're starting to roll the coverage. You asked me tonight about why did that safety do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they went in motion and they rolled their coverage. As a young kid, you may not understand that. I mean, you may understand one cover or two coverages.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're, like I say, through film study, and Neil and his staff does a great job with that. So I just think the game slows down and you understand it more.
I heard a very cool story, and this is between Peyton Manning and Ed Reed. So we're in a playoff game, and Ed Reed said every time Peyton did a certain thing, he knew he was throwing the post. But Ed Reed knew Peyton knew that. And he knew that Peyton – and they studied each other so much they were one step ahead. In this particular story, Ed Reed was ahead of him. And so he's like, so Peyton's picked up on it. So I know he's not going to throw the post. He's too good to do that. So I'm going to fake the post and throw it to my left. Well, Peyton did that. Ed Reed rolled and picked him off, because that's the chess game those guys play in the NFL, which is just, I mean, you think about it, it's like one step ahead of one step ahead of one step. But that's pretty cool, and that's how those guys have to think at that level. But I think in a smaller way, Elijah's heading in the right direction for sure.
It's a weird thing to think that you got to think so quickly, but yet the game is slowing down at the same time.
Yep.
Because you got to make those decisions. So lots more to get to. Hopefully we'll be speaking with a couple of coaches tonight. It's the Jamboree week for the 2024 season, prep football season here in the state of Louisiana. And this is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you.
Coach K from Wiseman High School, and you listen to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lorville who?
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Cade Wozniak and Todd Black and Jimmy Roy. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care, the title sponsor of the Scoreboard Show, but some additional partners for this season: Boyer, Hebert, and Angel, Investar Bank, Presley Wealth Management, Tony Seafood making a return. We always appreciate our sponsors who are sponsors of not just this show, but they are sponsoring our coverage of student athletes here in this area, and it's a very special thing every year.
Saw our good friend Brian Moe.
That's right.
From State Farm, who will be our sponsor again for our Student Athlete of the Week out there watching some football. He went especially to see Elijah Haven.
BSN is going to have us dressed. They always have us dressed to the. Jimmy didn't. I don't think Jimmy got our memo, did he?
No.
Those aren't the same color. That's black and that's gray.
Yeah, we didn't match tonight, but this is from the 2023 collection, I believe. No, 2022. I don't know.
My eyes might be failing me because my car was stolen the other day. I told them it was bronze, and they told me it was gray, and I think they're wrong, but since they found my car, I wasn't going to argue with them. I don't care what color it is. Yeah, it was stolen.
I have heard this story.
Oh, you haven't?
We're going to have to get this one at a break.
I mean, hey, look, I walked in the racetrack. I saw the homeless dude. I said, there's no way he's going to get my car. I left it going. I went to get a drink. I came back. The car was gone. My phone was in my car. He didn't know it, and we were able to track him all around the city. So
this is in no way associated with BSN Sports, by the
way. Oh, my. Oh.
So
true story?
It comes after. That's a true story. It comes about 2 months after I totaled my car. Okay. A lot of things happen in the off season. You just got to persevere.
Oh, man. Goodness. But, yeah, we got a lot of great sponsors who are joining us this year. And, you get people that have been a part of this program. We mentioned this being the 14th year. Some of them have been here every single year, some of them more recently, but every single one of them mean a lot to us and mean a lot to the student athletes here in this area.
And Chris Perrette.
Oh, brand new. Added Chris Perrette for Louisiana Prep Weekly, as well as our family of prep shows here this season.
His son, I think...
He's kicking a Catholic high?
Kicking a Catholic.
Yeah, he's kicking pretty well, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, second one was in the end zone tonight. The other one was to the 5.
God, we talk about that 80-yard drive. It's so brutal when they can get those kicks in the end zone.
Chris was a long snapper, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He was.
Okay. So, yeah, a lot of
I
football.
just saw him more in sports than I did on the football field, so.
We'll go over to Skip now to the sports desk and get a couple of updates on some Jamboree finals.
You don't know sport, just Sports Illustrated. Did you know that?
I had never been, no. Well, that was way before I was here.
Wait, we didn't have to go way before, but it was before you were here. How about that?
Okay, before I was here, yes. I've heard about it. It's in that triangle of places,
is.
right? Yeah.
Boy, is it.
It's a legend.
Yes. Okay, that's what you meant, yeah.
Kidder Central 0, Oak Grove 41, Richwood 18, Washita Christian 37, Cedar Creek 0, Central 10, East Ascension 0, Catholic 23-0 over Madison Prep, University of 21-18 winner over Dunham, Parkview defeats Burley 24-0, Catholic High Point compete 13, St. Ed's 12, Denham a 7-6 winner over Walker, Holy Cross shuts out Bell Chase 22-0, St. Charles Catholic 17, East St. John 6, Episcopal 28-21 winner over Pearl River. Ascension Catholic shuts out St. Michael 27-0. Iowa over Westgate 29-22. Ash defeats Sterlington 34-3. Brother Martin 25, John Ehret 13. Zachary 28-12 winner over West Feliciana. St. Martin's over the Willow School 34-6. Kenner Discovery shuts out Haynes 14-0. And Rummel 14, St. Paul 10.
Skip, we got any new school names this year? Like, I mean, you know, those charter schools in New Orleans changed quite a bit.
There's some I saw today.
I did see Jefferson Rise play last night.
Did they rise to the occasion?
They did not. Ascension Rohan and Ascension Christian beat them 13-12.
Ooh, they did rise.
Morris something out of New Orleans. Bill Conadies is the coach there.
Morris Bart? No, it's Jeff Morris. It is Jeff Morris. Is it Morris Jeff?
I don't know. It's something like that, yeah. But Bill Conadies.
How about that? Welcome back.
Bill Conadies was Blake Brennan's coach at Bay St. Louis, or over there at St. Stanislaus. Yeah. He came over to Denham Springs.
That's right.
Went back to the North Shore, and now he's at Morris Jeff, or Jeff Morris.
I think he was at
Was
it North Shore?
I think he was somewhere like that.
Briefly, yeah. Yep. I believe so. Speaking of 5A football, we were looking at some of the teams across the state, and I guess, you know, even though we're talking to a lot of local audience tonight, you got to start with the state champs from last year in Ruston and what they're bringing back. Coach Baugh, who's been a friend of this program, you know, what they did last year was pretty awesome. And do they have a chance, Jimmy, to make another run at it?
I think they do. Now, whether they will or not, I don't know. They were so good defensively last year, and that's where they took their biggest loss. They're going to return 6 on offense. All of their backfield, quarterback Josh Brantley returns. He's a junior. He's a Tulane commit. You got I think he's a senior this year. Landon Smith's a fullback. Running back's Jordan Hayes, who's a flyer. And then you have Dylan Brooks is back, sophomore tight end / wide receiver. Ahmad Hudson, he's the big 6'7", 235.
Sophomore now?
Sophomore, has an offer from LSU.
I think he had a heck of a basketball season,
He
too.
did, All-State as a freshman, yeah. They returned 3 on the offensive line that averages 303. So they're going to be good on offense. Now, can they put up enough points with the style of play they play to cover for their defense? They only return 4 on defense, but they do have a couple good ones. Eric Hill, he's a Louisiana Tech commit, had 114 tackles last year, and they have Aiden Anding at cornerback who just committed to LSU.
I think they're going to be all right.
He's a guy who was a basketball track guy. I think he's a state champion or right up there in like the long jump.
Yeah.
Played basketball and come out for football the last couple of years. Here he is as an LSU offer now.
But their style of offense favors a weaker defense, right?
Because if they can finish drives.
Well, yeah, if they can finish, but if they're, we're assuming
if they're
that
running
they're
the
going to
football, and that was also some of the biggest frustration at times is that they're going to do what they're going to do.
People put 11 within 5 yards, they were still going to try to run it.
Right.
And
we need to get him on here to tell his story because he's got a really cool story that kids need to hear about overcoming adversity as a person and having the success that he's having now
in his professional career.
Personal. It was personal that carried over to his professional career, though, because one kind of affected the other. But he's just a solid guy. He's a guy that you got to pull for, man.
Yeah.
He's always been a great friend of the show, and Jimmy and I and Kate have all really liked him. Ryan, not so much, but all the rest of us have. He's like,
I was reminded, we went to the social, and I guess I'm trying to think of the coach's name. I had forgotten that we did this. We called a coach that wasn't in the postseason last year.
Josh LaBorde.
And he reminded me of it, and I did not know. Not know.
Josh LaBorde. You don't want to talk to me? We didn't play tonight.
Yeah, he said, I don't think y'all want to talk to me.
Oh, man.
He's a defensive coordinator now at
Southside.
Yes.
With Jess Curtis.
Yeah.
But Catholic High, I think, with Hudson Fuller, I think, they're the defending state champs. They're a team who got better every week last year, played probably the best championship game. It was their best game of the year by far. I thought they played the best of all the championship games. Their team played the best. I don't think they were the best team there, but they played the best that night. Yep. But the big thing is they're going to have to replace Daniel Beal, who's a 4-year starter now. Bobby Graves looks like he's going to win the starting job. Hunter Goldsmith will come in for some packages, but they have guys around him, and you'll see them having to do some different things, but Catholic High is still going to be good. Their offensive line's good. They're led by Irv Smith, who's a Louisiana Tech commit. Cohen LeBlanc's a wide receiver. He has offers. Amari Clayton committed to Nichols, I think it was, and defense is just really good. You got Jacob Bradford, who's a senior at corner, and then Blaine Bradford, who was out most of last year until the playoffs with a knee injury. They both hold offers from LSU. I'm really impressed with them. I think Jacob Bradford has improved over the course of last year as much or more than any player I've seen. And now their schedule is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
They open with Destrehan, at St. Thomas More, then they host U-High and West Monroe. That's their first 4 games.
And I was going to touch on Ruston. We talked about it a little bit during the weekly show about their schedule. They've got 4 games, and I posted on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. I don't remember this ever happening, but they've got 4 games in a row of teams that are either from Arkansas or Texas. Ruston does. So their schedule, between those two, their schedule is brutal. But, hey, those coaches, Ball's never been scared to play anybody anytime. And, Catholic had I guess, home and home. What didn't they go to West Monroe last year? Or am I thinking about?
No, this is a new year, I think.
Okay. So, but Catholic, Zachary, Acadiana, Destrehan, they're all
playing each other.
Yep.
And you think about Ruston, where they are, they're probably closer to Dallas than they are having to come down to New Orleans or something like that to play somebody in Arkansas, so they can go even there even into Mississippi and play somebody. So it makes sense for them.
We'll continue our conversation next, looking ahead to some teams in 4A, giving you a couple of finals. If you want to report a final from a Jamboree you were at tonight, you can send us a message or post it on X at Louisiana Prep, or give us a call at 225-499-1045, 225-499-1045.
Just a reminder, our friend Mitch Small just text. We start our TV next week on
Your View.
On Your View, thank you. But you can find us online.
Yes,
now.
We are online tonight on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So
I don't know why you'd want to look at us, but
courtesy of Cassie getting us up on the YouTube channel. We will be on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel all season. In addition to Your View, the Your View portion will start with Week 1. We follow their game, which is Game Time, on Your View each week. Jeff Palermo and the team have that call, and then we'll be on the TV immediately after that.
I'm sure Mitch is a proud papa tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's true. With the quarterback.
Yeah, Catholic.
He did tell me about. Oh, you know what? He told Jackson about it. So he was playing golf at Santa Maria and told Jackson about it. That's how.
Yeah.
See, he
told
tells
me
me
out
things.
in front of Oak Point last year after the state championships.
That's where all the good conversations happen, right outside of Oak Point.
At the golf course. You can't beat those conversations, I promise you.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And Don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. We got Ryan, we got Cassie, we got Skip, and we got you tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, thank you. Hello, and we appreciate it. Next week, we will be on Your View in addition to the YouTube channel. So we look forward to having our audiences there this season again as well. Interesting stuff late night on TV sometimes.
Yeah.
Coach, you ever worked behind a bar? You ever bartender?
Oh, dude, I was bartending at sports.
Oh, we go back to sports. Okay, fair enough. All right.
I bartended there for a while.
Were you like Tom Cruise doing flipping the bottles and everything?
I tried.
Yeah.
You see that scar right there?
Yeah.
I got it because one of my buddies, they played the fight song about this time of year. He threw a bottle up, crushes me right across. I was so mad. I was like, who did it? And they were like, So now I'm making a drink and there's blood just dripping down right into the drink.
Ooh.
And I said, I guess this is not going to work. That's before COVID, so I just stirred it up.
Yeah.
So-
Well, if it's mixed in with a certain grain of alcohol, I'm sure it's fine, right?
At that point in the night,
Yeah.
double Jello shots. They didn't remember. They didn't know.
All right, a couple of scores from tonight. If you have a score you'd like to report to us, a final from a Jamboree you attended, give us a call. 225-499-1045, 225-499-1045. You can also let us know via X, the platform X at Louisiana Prep. We got a couple of finals we'll give you here in just a bit. And also looking through the classifications, the teams, kind of previewing the season ahead. And we were going through 5A if there's any other teams we wanted to make mention.
Yeah, car's going to be loaded again with Bryce Brown, Tyron Francis, LSU commit, a wide receiver, Oliver Mitchell, Tulane commit. Have a defensive lineman, Corey Adams, who's an Ole Miss commit, and then they have two juniors, the defensive lineman Richard Anderson, LSU commit, and Aiden Hall, a defensive back, who's an LSU commit.
Are you still talking about Carr?
Carr, yes, they're loaded. Acadiana,
good Lord,
played for 9 title games since 2005, won 6 of them, lost to Catholic last year in the finals. They returned 8 on offense and 8 on defense, so they're going to be loaded. Week 1 against Acadiana.
Against
Acadiana
Ruston.
and Ruston's going to be one to keep an eye on. Quarterback Caden Dabetta returns for his 3rd year. You got Russell Babineau, who's a Yale commit. He plays all over the field. He may line up at a wide receiver, running back, kick returner, defensive back. He just plays everywhere. You got a cornerback, Dayan Lewis, who returns all state. I was telling Todd at the break, their 4x100 team, their A team ran a 41, and their B team ran a 42. So that tells you there that they have guys that can fly. They're also playing a tough schedule. They go to Ruston, then they play Zachary at home, and then they go to St. Thomas More. Destrehan's going to be really good. They lost in the quarterfinals last year to Zachary. That snapped the longest win streak in the state at 25. They're loaded at wide receiver. The Philip Wright kids, LSU commit. Johnny Thiels, a Louisiana Tech commit. Jamboree Mack will commit somewhere. You got a defensive back in Jace Thomas, who's LSU commit, and quarterback Jackson Field. He's only a junior. He's back. The question for them is going to be, are they good enough up front?
Jackson Field is Chris Purvis's nephew. Chris Purvis is with Peak Performance, as they are another proud sponsor. Yeah. So we got to definitely keep an eye on them in Destrehan.
Yeah, Warren Easton, Jerry Phillips, they went through crazy stuff last year. They were taking on everybody, beating everybody.
They came down here, didn't they?
Then they had to forfeit a couple games,
Yeah.
and then they ended up having to cancel their season with about 3 games left. They're going to be a little bit younger, but their offensive line, they average 6'3", 318.
Real quick, back to Acadiana. You mentioned, goodness. Acadiana opens with Ruston, but then they got Zachary and St. Thomas More before opening district play.
Correct.
So,
that's tough. John Curtis, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They lost everybody on offense. They were returning 5 on the defense, but they got to replace their quarterback, Dagan Bruno. That kid was special. He could run that offense, and you have to have a quarterback that can run it. They got a couple of them going for that, battling for that position. We'll see how that plays out. I think Zachary, Coach Brewerton, and them, they're young. They're only returning 2 guys on each side of the ball that are starters coming off of their finals loss to Ruston. Caleb Gonzalez takes over at quarterback. He played a lot last year, but he wasn't a starter.
Yeah.
He goes to a full-time guy. He's going to have to perform this year.
doesn't have that big target at wide receiver.
Trey Green is gone, but look, let me tell you something. They got a junior, Christian Brooks. Look for him to he's going to be the next big-time receiver at Zachary. They're young, but they're going to have to grow up. I watched them against Dunham Springs. Dunham Springs handled them pretty well in the scrimmage game, but they, according to the people that I talked to tonight in their Westfield scrimmage, they got back to playing the style of football that Zachary likes to play.
Let me ask you a question. When you talk about John Curtis and the offense they run, and a lot of times you're getting guys that have grown up, kind of like Parkview. They've grown up knowing and learning and knowing what the system is. In the case of somebody moving like say Liberty is, where they're going to a wing T and something different like that. Somebody, man, it's so you gotta follow the steps. You got to be just so knowledgeable of what you're doing. Is it harder to move to that kind of offense than maybe see a spread or something else?
I'd give you the comparison for a quarterback, as we were talking about coverages earlier. I would say the veer in the run game for a quarterback is very similar to understanding coverages. I think it takes rep after rep after rep after rep to be able to understand it.
It is very hard to run the veer, midline, those type of things, because you have to keep your eyes on the nose of the tackle or the share or whoever you're reading. You're looking at that guy. You're not looking at in a normal offense where the mesh point is, when you're handing off to the running back. You have to trust your steps.
I was about to say,
and trust the running back.
You have to trust your steps, and you have to trust your running back steps because you're not looking at him.
Is there an offense more where you got to trust everybody is doing their job more? Because there seems like there's so much of a timing thing that it's got to happen. Hey, if this, then that, if this, then that, and everyone has to kind of be so synced up where you don't have a lot of room for error.
I think that's probably.
Maybe I'm overstating it.
No, you're not. It just, I think I deal with a lot of that, dealing with the younger group, because there's not a lot of trust there. But I think it kind of goes to the overall maturity of a team as they get older and they play with each other. And you think about John Curtis and how long these guys have played together.
Forever,
I think that kind of helps. Yeah, if you're just switching to it, like if you're Liberty, you're going to have to take your lumps. We always talk about Acadiana when they get and this is why I think they're going to be so dangerous. Jimmy just said they're getting their backs and their quarterbacks back. Well, there's some lumps you're going to take when you have a new back and a new quarterback in this type of offense. When you get them all back, you're rolling. There are no lumps.
And Coach Dotson even brought that up the other day when I was talking to him. He said the backs and the quarterback know their mesh points so well, it allows them to take a little bit of time away from that to work on other things. And he's talked about the experience they had and, how much he liked that group of backs. One to keep an eye on also is St. Aug, what they do with Coach Valdez. If it can be done, Coach Valdez is going to do it. And they just got, I think, like $2.5 million donated to them this week between two brothers who are alum from there. They're getting a new practice field, turf field built for them. But Coach Valdez, we just have so much respect for him, and I think he's going to get that program going in the right way.
Oh, no doubt.
Neville, Todd, talk to us about them. They're going through, it's Mike Collins' first year. They're going back to the 258 district. It's been the biggest staff change, turnover at Neville in, I don't know how many years, where, they brought in Glenn Hunt, who's a longtime offensive coordinator up there at West Monroe and West Washita. They brought in Andy Robinson, former head coach at St. Fred's. They brought in Steven Insminger to do their quarterbacks. Talking with Big Steve the other night, he said they got a really good group of running backs, good group of wide receivers, sophomore quarterback who there's two of them battling for it, but it's probably going to end up being Parker Robinson, who is Andy's son. Defensive backs, they got 3 guys that are committed to colleges. They just loaded all over the field. Now, they're going to have to find their way, I think, with their staff and whose role is what. Because they got some really knowledgeable guys on staff. But you got to do your job and let the other guy do his job and hope it all meshes.
A lot of chefs in the kitchen hoping they're all doing their own.
Jimmy's 100% accurate on that. Now, I can tell you in the offseason or in the fall, the thing that so I'll tell you, from Jeff Tannehill to Mickey McCarthy, and I'm trying to remember who's prior, they haven't really gone outside that Neville circle. Mike Collins has been at Neville, but he's kind of has his own idea or his own identity of how he wants a practice run. Well, everything I've been told is the practice has been just revamped. And, when you get if you're in one place for so long, you don't know how other things are done. Well, Mike Collins has had that experience, and they're running at the levee, which is half mile down the street from them. And so they're doing different things, trying to, get over that first round hurdle or that bye. And I think they're going to be in a very tough district, especially seeing what Alexandria did to Sterlington. I think that whole district from top to bottom, Ruston, Washita, West Monroe, Pineville, Alexandria, and Neville are really going to be tough. And I look for somebody outside of Ruston to be able to make a run too, whether it be West Monroe, maybe Neville, who knows.
And the Airline's another one up north to keep an eye on with Justin Scoggin. Their quarterback, Ben Taylor, led the state, I think, last year, 4,100, 89 yards, 49 touchdowns, and completed 74% of his passes. He has 2 wide receivers that are really good, a junior, and Kenny Darby's committed to Mississippi State. Jarvis Davis, he's a senior, had 94 catches, 1,276 yards last year. They returned 4 of their guys on the O-line. All 5 offensive linemen will be seniors this year. The problem is they gave up tons of points last year. They only returned 2 on defense. That could be a good thing.
Maybe
they weren't scared to play a 50-49 game.
Right, and I think eventually, that catches up with you. And I wanted to touch real quick on here, go back here locally. New coach over at Live Oak. Live Oak beat Hammond last night 10-6. Got a sophomore linebacker over there, Lane Billings. Also baseball player, had 10 tackles, including 3 sacks. So they've got a bright future over at Live Oak.
Son, huh? That's Mo's son, right?
That is Mo's son. But more importantly, it's Amy's son.
Yeah.
Mo's just
he probably got the athletic ability from her mom.
Yeah, Mo's just lucky to be around.
That's right.
No, great family, but Lane's a good football player. I worked with him for a little bit. Thought he might could play some quarterback. He probably still can sling it. But playing linebacker and coach over Live Oak 10, Hammond 6.
Hopefully they can find some consistency there at Live Oak. I know they've had some some back and forth and some changes.
That's the only consistent thing out there right now.
Magnolia Beach, man. Make a stop, make a pass, get your gas and your snacks. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Close out hour 1 of the Jamboree edition. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold.
Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back. Jamboree edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show presented by Lake Urgent Care. Let's quickly go to our score update. The BSN Sports Desk will have you covered. Skip will give you a couple scores. We'll get to our top of the hour break here. Skip, what's the latest?
All right, Washita 6, Natchitoches Central 0, Oak Grove 41, Richwood 18, Washita Christian 37, Cedar Creek 0, Central defeats East Ascension 10-0, Catholic shuts out Madison Prep 23-0, University 21, Dunham 18, Parkview over Bruley 24-0, Cali High Point Capee 13, St. Ed's 12, Denham Springs 7, Walker 6, Holy Cross shuts out Belle Chase 22-0, St. Charles 17, East St. John 6, Episcopal 28-21 win over Pearl River, Ascension Catholic shuts out St. Michael 27-0, Iowa over Westgate 29-22, Ash defeats Sterlington 34-3, Brother Martin over John Ehret 25-13, Zachary over West Feliciana 28-12, St. Martin's 34, the Willow School 6, Kenner Discovery shuts out Haynes 14-0, Rummel over St. Paul 14-10, Ascension Christian 19, Jefferson Rise 12, Live Oak 10-6 win over Hammond, Cecilia 35, Como 7, Dutchtown 34-0 over Donaldsonville, Lake Arthur over Grand Lake 21-14, Terrebonne over South Lafourche 35-14, St. Aug 20, Archbishop Shaw 7, Newman De La Salle tied at 10, Barb defeats DeRitter 20-0, Pope John Paul 20, Patrick Taylor 0, St. John 42, Acadiana Renaissance 0, South Plaquemine over Chalmette 26-7, Lafayette Christian 34, Lake Charles College Prep 12, Floraville 28, Highland 0, and I believe that's all I got.
Hey, college football season is back. Tune in tomorrow when Florida hosts number 19 Miami at 2:30, followed by Texas A&M and Notre Dame at 6:30. It's right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We'll also have pregame and postgame for LSU and UCLA. We'll get that started with Charles Handegrift Sunday at 1:30, and then 90 minutes after the game, we'll have Eagle 98.1 postgame coverage live from Vegas. Jimmy, you getting on a jet tomorrow heading out?
That would be a negative.
Negative?
Oh, Handegrift does a good job.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Charles is solid.
We had fun the year he did the show with us.
That is true.
Did he do a show with us?
Yeah.
Well, I know he did. So there's a year he did Catholic High football.
He did Catholic High football.
When Matt
would come in and bring in the equipment back in and hang out with us.
He's hung out with us at the suite a couple times, too.
Yeah, he did. We'll take a timeout. We'll reset everything and get going. We still got another 2 hours left of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Just 1 hour. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urchin Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Welcome back, hour number 2 here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. A full schedule next week. So we'll have Louisiana Prep Louisiana Prep Weekly first. That's presented by attorney Chris Perrett. It'll be Wednesday night at 6. Louisiana Prep Preview next Friday night at 6, presented by Brock. And then our Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, first full show, following Catholic and Destrehan next Friday night. So looking forward to a full week of football. NFL will kick off on Thursday. College football will be entering week 2. It'll be a very busy time, but we hope everyone tunes in. We had an interesting. Just it's always nice to hear from different people throughout the season. There's a photographer introduced himself, Michael from the Advocate, mentions, hey, driving home after work, like to tune in, and a shout out to Michael doing some photography work out there. It's always appreciate people that mention where they tune in. Maybe they got the app Bluetooth in the car on the way back from the game. We've heard coaches. We've gotten calls from coaches on the bus, and they have us on.
Yeah,
always appreciate that.
Getting text right now.
So
from coaches.
Yep.
Always
You
a
on the
good
Nuts
thing.
bus?
The Nuts bus? Well, I guess I should probably jump on, but I'm reserved to watch until Sunday. Can I watch until Sunday and give you an answer after?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's bandwagoning.
Oh man.
But
Yeah,
I was laughing.
I'll jump on.
If you remember correctly, after Jaden Daniels' first game against Florida State, these people in this city wanted him out. That's how dumb they are.
He's too afraid to throw a pass, right? I mean,
I mean, he ran for 200, threw for 200, and they
Right.
lost because of a
Doesn't make. Hey, here's the problem with him. He doesn't throw interceptions.
Well,
yeah, that worked out quite well. Interesting though, when you got a school that's featuring teams that have had one of the last two Heisman Trophy winners, at some point, and now they're in Vegas, and a lot of people say that's fairly even matchup with these two teams. LSU and openers in these neutral site situations have not gone well.
They
So I
need,
think
they
did a
need
good
to
start.
win this game. But I love the comment Will Campbell had.
We ain't going there to
We're
win.
not going there to go to the casinos. We're going there to get in a fist fight.
Yeah, go for it.
He said it more like fight.
Yeah.
Like Monroe boys.
Right.
would.
Oh, he did.
Hey,
But you could tell that guy, he's a dude.
He, if I'm not mistaken, he has a deal with Sunshine or John Deere, the track. That fits perfect. That is, to me, if you pluck the guy who plays line from North Louisiana, big guy, I mean that is perfect. That says it all for some of these guys. It's kind of cool for the guys to find their niche in that world and knowing that it fits. Reminds me of conversations with guys that either play out in Northeast or something like that. Who was the coach? It was a player talking about. We interviewed a kid that said he came to do the interview, but he had to go work
Catholic Point Capella.
Yeah, in the pasture all day.
Catholic Point Capella last
brought
year.
his boots to practice or something so he could switch out and just
Talking about how they get up before school, go work in the farms, and go to school, practice, and get back to the farms in the afternoon.
Speaking of which, Catholic Point Capella, is it year 2?
Two. Jacob Caruth.
Yep.
Caruth, yeah.
They won over St. Edmunds. Where'd St. Martinville come from? I don't know. St. Edmunds 13-12. But Jimmy, as you're going over all your teams and giving some reviews, there's a lot of LSU commits, Louisiana Tech commits. Have you found in your research this is a particularly good year for LSU or for high school football?
I do. I think it's a pretty good year. Not just this year. For you, I mean, you think of the good teams and the good coaches that you have now. You know, you're always going to have your athletes in New Orleans, whether it's a good class of DBs or wide receivers or running backs. You're starting to get a few more linemen now. And that is key. You got the big Lamar Brown kid at U High. He's going to play somewhere. Smith kid at Catholic High. He's going to Louisiana Tech. You're always going to have the skill guys, but when you got the borderline kid at New Orleans, at Newman, who Coach Stewart last year said he's way better than his brother, who's at LSU also.
Right.
But so I think the key is the offensive lines are getting better.
Here's what I got as far as commits for 2025, and I know certainly there's a lot of offers out there. Catholic High defensive back Jacob Bradford at Houston, offensive lineman Irv Smith, Louisiana Tech, wide receiver Amari Clayton, and it didn't list Nichols. Okay. Central quarterback Jackson Furman at Nichols. DK Mays, Houston, Dutchtown, Andrew Fields, Northwestern State, I believe. Josh Lewis, Missouri. Lutcher, defensive lineman, Rashad Sterling at Houston, Madison Prep, tight end, Calvin Spears, Navy, Scott Laville, wide receiver, Frizzell Shepard, Mississippi State, Southern Labs, running back, Amari and Osbury at goes Southern, University, U High defensive back, Jaden Golson, UL, Alec Hayes, Nichols, John Abear, Navy, Zay Martin, Southeastern, and Keelan Moses, LSU. So that's at least those who have made their commitments, and others.
You have a lot more with offers.
Yeah, a lot of good. And that's just Baton Rouge, and that's just here in Jamboree Week. And it's interesting because I remember you mentioned Lutcher coach
Dwayne Jenkins
and talking about lunch and like when you go through a season, you go, you get through a season, you see these names, you go, yeah, that makes sense. And then you get halfway through and you realize this kid didn't have an offer or he didn't have how you start to question. And I know that this is a difficult process in this day and age, NIL, transfer portals. It hurts schools that are maybe, not the bigger schools these days. But, if you're an athlete and you can prove it and you do the right things, you hope that there's an eye out there that can see your play.
And you got to respect the school in all sports, baseball especially, to the programs who are still recruiting the high school kids. Because you have so many coaches now that I've picked up the phone several times to in-state baseball programs, call a coach, say, Coach, this kid can play for you. Do you want him? Or would you look at him? What do you think about him? Go watch him. Well, we're not recruiting any high school kids. We're going straight to the portal. You still got to build it through the high school recruit.
That's the lifeblood
You still
of the
have
program.
to build your program there, and then you got to keep them there. You got to re-recruit them once they're there.
I saw last night, I think Colorado had the biggest turnover. I think they lost 52 and got in 41, something like that.
That's incredible. I mean,
that's 2 years in a row for them. I mean,
are they kids that are transferring, or they didn't graduate?
Yeah. There are a lot of, they want to go to play with Coach Prime, Warren Sapp.
True, yeah, big names.
Yep. Don't mean they can coach, but they want to go play with them.
And wear the shades.
That's right.
I think that act might be getting a little old over there for him.
In Colorado?
Yeah.
That's all right. He's already got him tied into millions, so
That's right.
fire me if you want. I'm going to get my 35, 40 million. What Edo say? Show me the door.
Where do I sign and which door do I leave out of?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. We looked at some teams in 5A, 4A down the line. What about Class 3A? I know that gets kind of competitive when you get to the Baton Rouge area.
Let's look some more 4A first. St. Thomas More.
Yeah.
I thought them or Ruston, I thought were the two best teams in the state last year at the end of the year. Like I said, Calicut played the best in the state championships, but St. Thomas More.
Where did we see them play Dunham Springs last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I was going to say, we saw them in person for just a couple.
But Coach Hightower, 474 wins, two-time state champion. They're going to play a tough schedule. They're playing Cairn Crow, Catholic, Acadiana, Neville, Westgate. That's their first 5 games. It don't matter who they lose at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, D-line, O-line. They're going to look the same the next year every single year. They're so well coached. They do as good of a job as any team in the state with their 9th and JV team of developing players. And it's year after year after year after year. You expect them to have a bad year, but it don't, and they're going to be really good again this year.
But don't you have to give a lot of credit to Coach Hightower? And I know you do. I'm just kind of saying, because he doesn't have a lot of turnover over there. He keeps the same guys there in place. They run the same system, and they have the same results.
That's right.
It's not a coincidence.
That's right. And Opelousas, Todd, going back to the Dome last year, of course, we don't get to see Opelousas play because they're never in this area. I do think they come to Zachary this year. But I was more impressed with Opelousas, or surprised with Opelousas, than I was any team at the Dome last year. They were fast, they were physical, and they got everybody darn near coming back.
Didn't their coach warn us about that?
Yeah.
They were going to play?
Yeah. Yeah, he had a fun interview on the way back. Let's put it that way. But they have 8 players ranked in the top 125 in the state this year. Zach Malvo's the quarterback. He was the MVP of the championship game. Deshaun Ford was a 2,000-yard rusher, averaged 10 yards a carry. He has offers from LSU, Alabama, A&M, Ole Miss. He's a 225-pound load back there. Corey Fontenot wide receiver can go get them with the best of them. They have 8 back on defense. Linebacker Corey Amos is an Ole Miss commit. He's 6'3", 220. You have Landon Hammond, who's a 3-year all-district player. He has an offer from Arkansas. They're big up front on both sides of the ball. Their schedule's also brutal. They open up with Turlings, Carr, Lake Charles, College Prep, Ash, Zachary, and Natchitoches Central.
He ain't scared.
No, he's not scared. They're going to play. Now, is he suspended still, or did that get overturned?
I think that got overturned.
I knew the championship got overturned. They are the champions still, but I didn't know if that part did. Now, the only thing that concerns me about Opelousas, they have a 50-man roster. When you're playing that tough of a schedule, an injury here or there could really turn some things. I think Shaw's going to be a lot better.
Maybe they need to go to the transfer portal.
Yeah. Shaw with Hank Tierney, 319 wins in 3 years. He's improved that roster from 50 players to 100 and went to the semifinals in year 2. He's got 9 starters back on offense. Mason Wilson, the quarterback, comes back. They have a running back commit in Jasper Parker. He's committed to Michigan. Wide receiver Jacob Washington, he's committed to Michigan also. They have 4 guys on their offensive line returns, and their new starter is a tackle that's 6'3", 295. So
he's kind of rejuvenated that Shaw fan base.
He did it, and he did it quick. St. Charles going up to 4A. Wayne Stein and them, they've played in 5 straight state championships. They're going to replace 16 starters. We'll see how they fare in that new division.
That's kind of similar to St. Thomas More when you replace guys, but you got guys that come in and just they know what they do over there, and they keep it simple, and they do it so darn good.
And they're pushing their kids, pushing to go into 4A, and they're just not – that's just the way Coach Stein is.
Yeah, he wants to develop the school into that size school. He has a vision, and they're going to have success. Now, whether they can get back to the finals, I don't know. But Cecilia and Dennis Gaines, lost in the championship last year. They returned 7 on offense. They have Diesel Solaire. Back, he's a 4-year starter. He accounted for over 3,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Brent Garden is a 2-way player. He's committed to UL as a DB. They lost their offensive coordinator, Clint Harrison. He left to go to Destrehan. Sonny Chapantier, who just got messed over at Turlings High School, has now went to Cecilia to be the quarterback coach. And you talk about continuity in their staff. Their staff has been together since 2016 with the exception of this change this year.
Cecilia and Opelousas are in the same district, correct?
Yes. Cecilia won in the regular season.
Yep.
Opelousas won in the finals, yeah. Then you got North DeSoto up north, Luke Delafield, good as quarterback there is up there. Cole Corey had 1,431 yards last year, wide receiver. And you know Westgate's going to be talented also.
Quite a few quarterbacks that you're mentioning for this year, 2025 as well.
And Benton has one, and I did not write his name down, but he's supposed to be really, really good also.
Hold on to the rest of that and then move into 3A. When we get back, we'll take a timeout. This is the Jamboree Week edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means.
Covering prep football from West Monroe to West Side. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. 16 locations around the area. Don't forget, you can have those virtual visits if you don't want to go in person. We appreciate Lake Urgent Care. I mean, it's been a long time that we've had that partnership, and we value that ever so important every year. And look, when it comes time to, I don't know, probably in a couple months, maybe in a month, you're going to start hearing about flu shots.
Hope it's a month.
They can take care of you there. The convenience, the new location that is, well, the one that they kind of upgraded off of Drusilla is fantastic. It's brand new. Waiting room is big. It's spacious. But it's just the convenience, really, is what it comes down to for me. You can make that appointment. How many times you've gone to call, you're sick on a Monday, you call your physician, you can't get in until like Wednesday. You can go over there, and they've got professionals that are there ready to help you out, get you back on your feet. So the convenience of it's always been great, and we've always appreciated their partnership.
And
so
also, Total Lock Med.
That's right.
Is
Yep.
right there
True.
off of the Drusilla, and you can get any kind of pre-employment type testing, physicals for your work. They do a really good job. They used to do all the fire departments, or still do. So.
I had to go to Lake after hours. I think it was February. And so never drink. Like, this is bagged tea that you make at home, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that can go bad? So I don't know how many years it had been in the pantry. So I decided to make some tea.
Yeah. Hot tea?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I mean, it turns cold, but yeah.
Oh,
hot
okay.
tea.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
So, I mean, violently throwing up.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, it was happening.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it'd take about 4 days to get over. Thirsty, I want to drink tea again. So I start drinking the tea again. I didn't know what was going on.
Right,
I was trying to figure it out. Same thing happened 3 weeks in a row. I mean, I lost like 77 pounds through 3 weeks. But finally, I'm talking to Brock, and I'm like, dude, go look and see the expiration date on that tea. And he's like, there's not one. And I'm like, and I look it up, and sure enough, the same symptoms can happen from expired tea.
Did you find an expiration date on it?
I guarantee it's at least 2-3 years old. I didn't think it went bad. I thought it was like canned goods.
I didn't know.
But
they have expiration dates on them, too.
That just means you got to sell it by that time. You can still eat it.
That's right.
Ask these doomsday people.
That's right.
But so that would learn. I'm like, I really was scared. I was like, there's got to be something going on. So I went to Lake After Hours. They just kind of looked at me and said, they gave me something for nausea. And
prescription of no tea.
And then I was like, oh, man, not many people have heard of that. No one had heard of it.
I hadn't either.
Now all 463 million people listening tonight now know.
They walked when you left, and you're walking out. They yelled to their other. We got another guy who drank the old tea. This happened the third time this week.
Oh boy.
3A football, pretty competitive here in the Baton Rouge area. Starts
U-High.
over at the team we saw tonight. Yeah,
starts at U-High. Interesting to see how they play against their really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
Really impressed with their offensive line as a group that's been around for a while. Their tradition over there has just been phenomenal. 12 straight years in the semis. In that time, since 2014, they won 4 titles. You mentioned all of the commitments that they have. Their schedule is going to includes Rummel Catholic and St. Paul's. That's another good one. I really want to see how Coach Weiss moves forward with the offense. They have the ability to throw the football with anybody, but I still think their bread and butter has to be their run game and set up their pass and off of their run game. There'll be games where you'll want to throw it 35 times, and they have that capability. There could be games where they want to throw it 10 times, and they have that capability. They're really, really good. I don't think anybody else is close to them in 3A. Sterlington, Lee Doty, back again. Man, I don't know what went on up there, but they had their third-year starter at quarterback, Dylan Downs. His little brother is a sophomore, Devin Downs. He's an LSU baseball commit. They both left and transferred to Bastrop.
For real?
Yes. 3-year starter gone. I don't know what happened. You're definitely not going from Sterlington to Bastrop if you're a baseball guy that's committed to LSU, but they did.
They had to live in Bastrop.
Yeah, must have.
That's the only place they could have gone to be eligible.
Yeah. That one was just a head scratcher. But, they're always back in. Jeff Tannehill's over there now coaching quarterback. St. James is one to keep an eye on. Levante Davis, they lost in the finals by 1 to Union last year. They lost their quarterback, Braden Williams, who was the area MVP, wide receiver Kobe Brown. They do have some good skill guys coming back. Their running back, Young, had 868 yards. Cameron LeBlanc had 669 yards. They had the Villanova kid, had 50 catches at wide receiver, 721 yards. They're going to have a sophomore, Peyton Clement, at quarterback. They do return 8 on their defense, so defense is going to have to carry them a little bit early on.
That classification's usually pretty wide open when it comes down to the state championship.
Yeah. I mean, you can list others. Madison Prep, they're going to have some improving to do on offense.
They start off with Dutchtown.
Mandeville.
They just looked a little out of sync.
They did, but you look at their schedule. Who they play? They play Dutchtown, Mandeville, Southside, Southern Lab.
Not scared.
Non-district.
Yeah.
They're not scared. They're playing good people. A-Meat's going to always be in it. Their quarterback, Jeremy Franklin, returns for his third year. They have 3 offensive linemen returning. Those 3 average 6'4", 320. They got a linebacker, Earl Tillman, is 6'2", 210. He's a 4-year starter.
Lightweight.
3-year starter in Frank Morgan at defensive back. He's still only a junior. De La Salle's going to be a little bit better this year. They returned 3 offensive linemen. JFK is a team that's been 20-4 in their last 2 years. They've reached the quarters. Remember, defense last year had 6 shutouts. They allowed 5 points a game. Now, this year the strength is going to be their offense.
Has their schedule strengthened any?
JFK plays Santa Maria, St. Paul's, Warren Easton, and Scotlandville.
Okay.
Non-district.
Yep.
So, yeah.
You know, we go back to U-High, and I don't know if we had mentioned this earlier, but according to what I found as far as their offensive line is concerned, Brookshire is 6'2", 290. Preston Jones, 6'4", 280. John Hebert, 6'3", 270. And then Lamar Brown, 6'5", 280. Lawson Guidry, 6'1", 245. So, yeah, some big boys.
They're big.
Sometimes being a coordinator is being extremely, extremely patient. And, you know, Coach Weiss has been around the game long enough to understand if he continues to run the football, they're going to have to pull some – they're going to have to play man. They're going to have to do something to make that adjustment to bring somebody in the box. Once they do that, then you can start throwing. But until then, you have your way running the football. And, you know,
the beauty,
he's just got to be patient with it.
The beauty of their offense is they can beat you multiple ways. But I think you have to establish the run game. But wide receivers, Zay Martin, Lawson Dixon, you have others. The Bush kid, who's a basketball player, he got injured tonight. I don't know what happened with that, but those three wide receiver are great. But they're running back, so you can go 4 wide, you can go 5 wide, you can line up in an I, you can line up too tight, you can do whatever you want. You can throw it 50 times a game or 10 times a game, and they have the ability to beat you either way. And they're good.
Defensively, their corners made some nice plays. You were mentioning there was a play where they had like 4 wide and 2, and the guys were just kind of pressing them towards the sidelines. I know that Andy's that's his bag of tea, so to speak, if you will.
Why are you bringing up tea?
I don't know. It's a weird analogy. But, look, they're always sound there, and they always look. It sounds stupid, but they tackle so well. Guys don't get extra opportunities on a U-High football team. It just they play so well.
Their defense is always you're dead on with that. I thought when not that there's a difference now, but I think when Andy was the defensive coordinator, they were a very sound tackling football team. They were sound as far as their gaps were concerned, and they were always in the right place. And ultimately, when it gets down to it, you've got to be a solid defensive team. Defenses win championships, right? Defense does what, Kate?
Travels.
Travels, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh, it's early. I don't know it's too early. Yeah, super impressive there. And, 3A, when we get into the postseason, we've always thought that it's pretty wide open. You get to, quarterfinals, and then you feel like every team really has a shot at being the last one to hold up.
We got to remember, and this is still the one thing I want the LHSAA to get fixed.
All right.
We talked about 4A. St. Thomas More is going to be playing in Division 1. We talked about 3A just now with U-High. They're going to be playing in the playoffs in Division 2.
Yeah.
So we still don't have all that worked out perfectly, but we're talking about tonight classifications, which one they're in, and there are 3A teams.
Yeah. And what your argument is you want the classifications and divisions to coordinate.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, we'll take another time out just a little while to go here on this Jamboree edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We're presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward. always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so...
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake After Hours. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Our cast of thousands tonight includes Ryan, Cassie, and Skip. And we go to the McCotery Electric Scoreboard desk for an update. Here's Skip.
Floresville over Highland 28-0. Lafayette Christian over Lake Charles College Prep 34-12. South Plaquemine over Chalmette 26-7. St. John over Acadiana Renaissance 42-0. Hope John Paul defeats Patrick Taylor 20-0. Barb shuts out DeRitter 20-0. Newman and De La Salle squared up at 10. St. Aug 20, Shaw 7. Terrebonne 35, South Lafourche 14. Lake Arthur 21, Grand Lake 14. Dutchtown blanks Donaldsonville 34-0. Cecilia over Como 35-7. Live Oak 10, Hammond 6. Ascension Christian 19, Jefferson Rise 12. Rummel 14-10 winner over St. Paul. Kenner Discovery over Haynes 14-0. St. Martin's defeats Willow School 34-6. Zachary over Westfeld 28-12. Brother Martin over John Ehret 25-13. Ash defeats Sterlington 34-3. Iowa over Westgate 29-22. Ascension Catholic 27, St. Michael 0. Episcopal over Pearl River 28-21. St. Charles 17, East St. John 6. Holy Cross defeats Belle Chase 22-0. Denham over Walker 7-6. Catholic High Point could be 13, St. Ed's 12. Parkview a 24-0 winner over Bruley. University 21, Dunham 18. Catholic over Madison Prep 23-0. Central blanks East Ascension 10-0. Washita Christian over Cedar Creek 37-0. Oak Grove 41-18 over Richwood. And Washita 6, Negative Central 0.
Thank you, Skip. Getting some scores in tonight from Jamboree action. They had Jamborees on Thursday and Friday. We'll kick off a regular season edition of our Scoreboard show a week from tonight. We'll go on air immediately following Catholic and Destrehan.
Denham Springs, I know they're 0-0, and they have to understand that.
Yeah.
But they've had a good 2 weeks.
Did your chair sink?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it may have because
Yeah,
I'm not that tall.
How's was it Jerry Horn under center?
Jerry Horn, yep. Had another quarterback, another touchdown pass tonight.
That Jimmy's referring to, they had a very good scrimmage against Zachary.
And
Walker
Walker tonight. Walker's going to be good.
going to be a good team. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the quarterback is Silv out there
Yes.
for Walker.
3-year starter.
3-year starter, yeah.
Part-time.
Can I jump on the soapboxes for a second? I'm sitting over here, we're watching this TCU game during the, the break. And, I'm watching their quarterback drop his arm angle on 2 consecutive passes for incomplete passes. And it drives me to no end how aggravating that if you can't throw a conventional pass, you have no business dropping down to arm angle. You never have the chance to do it. So why is he doing it?
Because Patrick Mahomes can do it.
Right.
I mean, I'm being serious.
Well, you
I
are.
I saw high school teams tonight warming up like that.
I mean, it's stupid. I mean, and there's quarterback coaches out there that try to teach. Patrick Mahomes wasn't taught that. He just naturally can do it.
Yeah.
And he's a baseball player.
He's a baseball guy who's used to that arm slot.
Right. And this guy's throwing, now they 4th and 10 and they have to kick. I didn't bet the game. I promise you. I just watching it. And I see people doing it all the time. And it's a waste of, I don't know. That's my soapbox.
Is it a matter of I'm probably already answered the question, but is it bad mechanics or is it a tired quarterback at this point in the game that's just a little lazy with what he's trying to do?
He's more lazy, but I mean, that's something that some coaches promote. They want you to sit there and drop it and try to get it. It's trying to get it to the receiver a little bit quicker. It's the whole thing because you don't set your feet. You're just sitting there throwing it,
and they're trying to throw underneath a blitz and off of the edge.
Is there? I don't know if it's a similarity, but on the baseball side, you see a traditional, mechanics from a pitcher, and then you'll see a sidearm guy. And what's the difference? Who's trained to do that opposed to somebody doing it something more traditional? Who's trained this way opposed to doing it something more traditional?
I think a sidearm guy is naturally, that's what he does. He's a conventional thrower, but he's changing his arm angle on purpose to try to complete the pass.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
from a QB standpoint, I can understand.
It just drives me to no end because it's like teach the mechanics like they should be taught, and if you have to change your arm angle, then let it be natural. Don't force it. But I just don't think that Steve Ensminger would be good to talk about. I think I know his opinion about it.
I don't think so too.
Let's talk about 2A football, Jimmy Roy.
2A Calvary. They bring back their All-State quarterback, Abram Wardell, phenomenal 4-star running back, James Simon, Texas commit, offensive lineman Devin Harper, LSU commit, transferred over from Captain Shreve. You're hearing this more and more and more. Athlete Julius Moss is back. Colby Thomas is a wide receiver. 2A is interesting because LCAs went down to 2A. You've had Oak Grove, Washita Christian have moved up to 2A. You have LCAs, even though they lost Julian Johnson to LSU, is Mr. Football for Louisiana last year, 4-year starter. They have a good one coming up in Braden Walker. He got to play some last year quarterback. They're good at wide receiver with Braden Allen and Brennan Walker. Running back Jalen Noel is really, really good, had over 1,200 yards last year. They're going to return 3 on the offense. Defense lost a bunch. Their strength is going to be their secondary. They've been to 7 straight finals. Oak Grove has won back-to-back Division IV non-select titles, 3 of the last 4. They return a 4-year starter at quarterback in Jackson Bradley. He's a Louisiana Tech commit, 6'3", 215. They have a good-looking tight end in J.T. Lawton, 6'4", 225. They open with Calvary week 1. I know Lawton had a long touchdown reception tonight. Stephen Fitzhugh, you know he's going to do a good job there. Another team that looks the same every year. They reload. They lost some really, really good players last year, though, in Tate Hamby to Vanderbilt. He was a kick returner, defensive back, punter, wide receiver. He did it all for him. O-lineman Ryder Bentley went to UL, and defensive lineman Ben Duvall. Those were the nucleus of that team. He went to Dartmouth. They're going to have to replace 15 starters, including 9 on defense. Luke Vadrine, though, returns as a junior this year. He had over 2,200 yards passing. Dunham, we talked about them tonight. They returned 12. I was impressed with Dunham. I really was, even though they lost. So I can't say enough good things about Elijah Haven. Ever since the last year Jamborees, when I got to see him for the first time, the sky's the limit for the kid. He's the number 1 rated kid in the 2027 recruiting class as a quarterback. He completed 68% last year, rushed for 641 yards. They have a little more size than I thought they had, especially on offense. Defensive front is kind of small. Mm-hmm. The back end was physical. They got after you. I was really impressed with them. And then you have Newman down there with Nelson Stewart. They've been to 7 semifinals since 2014, but they've never made it to the finals. They returned 11. Eli Friend at quarterback was 69% last year, 2,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. He rushed for 690. You have Jake Randall at a running back. The junior, he's good. And then we talked about Brett Bordelon early. And we're talking about 2A. We haven't even talked about Union being in 2A now, mm-hmm. and Notre Dame. That 2A is wide open.
Yeah, for Coach Stewart over there at Newman, you know, I think sometimes you're coaching when you've got, you know, we've seen kids come through, you know, a once in a generation or once in however so often, you know, you got an Arch Manning or something like that. But, you know, and that's when you're going to get an extra spotlight on your team. But Coach Stewart's really done a good job. Oh. And, you know, it seems like, well, you know, Arch is not there, so maybe you don't get the attention. But maybe similar to when you look at what like a Travis Bourgeois has done here, and it's consistent over there. And, yeah, they haven't gotten to that ultimate step, but you don't have to have those big-time guys. They work within what they do, and they do it very well.
Yep.
I don't think this was the case, but I think it would be hard not to feel that way. But it's got to be tough to coach when you feel like somebody's looking over your shoulder. And I'm not saying that's the case, but, you know, they are a pretty very well influential football family that know a lot.
No, I get that. Yeah, for sure.
But he played. Nelson played with, I think, Peyton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're friends, so, you know, that family trusts him. We'll go through 1A real quick. Southern Lava thinks is 2 out of the last 3. They returned to Amari Clayton, like we said. They have Denham Hunter as a wide receiver. Riverside, Lee Roussel, 21-4 in his 2 years. They're the smallest player on the field is the best player, Dedrick Lasty, rushed for 2,500 yards. He's 5'5". Pretty impressive. Then you go Vermilion Catholic. They have the Dartez kid, Jonathan Dartez, with over 3,500 yards. He's accounted for 8,500 yards in offense and 111 yards. 111 touchdowns for Vermilion Catholic. They're going to be good again. St. Martin has the number 1 running back, according to some people in the country, in Harlem Berry. 2,080 yards last year, 37 touchdowns. His career numbers are 7,285 with 114, and go down the road to Ascension Catholic. Todd mentioned them earlier. Noel Narcisse is in his first year, and they have a running back, Chad Elsey, with 2,900 yards and 50 touchdowns.
And then you got Northwest Louisiana, who I'm stealing off your notes, with Homer, Haynesville, and Logansport.
Yep.
All very good teams. With it's going to be a great year. See who can push it down to the Superdome. We got a couple of teams locally that can give it a run. we'll see. Can Dutchtown follow up with their semifinal run last year? Then you got Catholic High you've talked about. Central had a real good year at quarters. Zachary went to the finals. So, hey, we'll have to see.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Coming up next here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
As we wind things down tonight, looking ahead to week 1, some real good games around the state. Noted outside of the Baton Rouge area, Acadiana Ruston probably about as good as it's going to get. Catholic High is at Destrehan. Central is at De La Salle. Santa Ma hosting Byrd. Looking at St. James at East St. John. You've got Port Allen at Bruley. Plaquemine is at Zachary. Parkview at Dunham. Probably going to be the game of the week next week. Was it Parkview that won that game last year?
Yes.
I think Dunham won the first game, and then Parkview won the playoff.
So we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Thanks so much to Skip. Thanks to Cassie. Thanks to Ryan. Thanks to Coach Todd Black, Coach Jimmy Roy. I'm Cade Wazan. We'll see you next week here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.